What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Triple Threat Talk. I am your host, Connor Ryan. No Jonah Newberger today. Jonah is just not available, unfortunately, but the episode will continue to roll on. He will be back. We're going to do a episode releasing on Saturday, talking about the upcoming Week 3 schedule for the NFL and everything like that. Today, I just want to get a little episode out for everyone for the recap of Week 2. Obviously, got to cover that. If we didn't, then it would just be like another, probably a 2-hour episode or something, just because of how much happened in Week 2 and everything I want to get into. If you enjoy this, please like and subscribe, follow the journey. I really appreciate the support of everyone so far. I mean, yeah, it's just, I'm really having a great time doing this. I really appreciate all the support that everyone is giving us in terms of either liking the Instagram videos. I know we're posting back on that again, TikTok, just watching the actual podcast, listening to it on Spotify. Really appreciate all of you. But I mean, let's get right into it. We got a lot of games to cover, 16 games. And I'll just go rapid fire in terms of some of the quicker games, some of the quicker thoughts. Packers, Commanders. Overall, good game. Commanders offense, it's clear the Packers look like the best team in the NFC, in my opinion. They are by far most stout defense. They have a really solid offense overall. If Jordan Love continues to stay healthy all year, then I think that's really going to be a potent team, especially with Josh Jacobs and the balance that offense can create. But that defense looks ridiculous. It is terrifying to see. The Commanders, concerned about Jaden Daniels a little bit. I'm going to be honest. Should he play this week? No. Why? Why would you want to hurt your future star? We saw what happened what that happened with in Washington about 11 so years ago with RG3. We don't want that to happen again with Jaden Daniels. Give him the rest. Let him heal. Just give him some time. But just not a great performance for the Commanders. Not great to lose Austin Eckler as well for the rest of the year. All in all, Commanders are going to be better than this. I know they will. Not worried about it. But does raise some question marks. Seahawks, Steelers. Yeah, I didn't watch a ton of this game. Seahawks look a lot better than I think people want to give credit for. Really interesting to see the result of the Caleb Johnson play with I didn't really couldn't tell, but it did go off his helmet. Concerning for the Steelers defense. That is by far the biggest calling card of when you think of the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's clearly I think of their defense. Steel Curtain, the entirety of the mid 2000s to the entirety of the 2000s, that entire secondary, the rules changing because of how hard they were hitting and everything. And anyway, the defense is abysmal. Back-to-back games with 30 plus points against honestly subpar offenses. I know the Jets have a lot of tools, but honestly, I don't trust Justin Fields a lot as a quarterback. And the Seahawks are in a weird spot. You lose DK Metcalf, you get rid of you lose Geno Smith, you bring in Sam Darnold, who had a great year in Minnesota, and he's truly proving himself that, hey, I'm a legit quarterback. I know what I'm doing, and I wasn't just a product of Kevin O'Connell's system, which does help, sure. But Seahawks are looking really good. JSN is proving himself as the wide receiver one in that group. Steelers need to step it up. The offense needs to be better than 17 points a game if they want to win. And it's clearly showing that way, especially with how lackluster their defense is. They're coming up to New England this week. And if the Patriots offense shows up, I wouldn't be shocked if the Patriots steal that one. I don't even consider it a steal. I don't know. Anyway, Rams, Titans. Rams look really good. Are we surprised? No, I get it. They played the Texans and the Titans the first 2 weeks, but the Texans have a really good defense. And the Titans are solid. They gave the Broncos a good chance. Anyway, Rams look really good. Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams are ridiculous together. Kyrie Williams is a little bit of a slow start, but he will get it going, and he's going to have a 200-yard game, no problem, in the next 3 weeks. I wouldn't be shocked. Titans, all I have to say is Cam Ward looks sick. He looks really cool playing football. He is really cool playing football. And, of course, that is one of the coolest passing touchdowns I've ever seen. Just casually rolling out right, throws it the entire diagonal of the field, about 25 yards upfield anyway, or however many yards upfield. It was a far throw. Hell of a throw. Titans just need to improve. Their defense isn't strong. It's overall just a process of it's a team that's finding a foundation. And I think Cam Ward is a perfect stepping stone for that foundation. Beef up the O-line, get the defense taken care of. The Titans might be a playoff team in the next 3 years. I don't know. That's crazy, but it's the AFC South is so weak. It could change day to day. Bills, Jets. Bills just blew out the Jets. That's the moral of the story. Josh Allen didn't have a great game, but James Cook did. And that's the factor of how dangerously good this Bills team is. Defense showed out to be just as good as they should be. And against a team that has an offense like the Jets. And also, you score 30 points. Doesn't matter if you have the best day in the world or whatever, your offense scores 30 points. That's a good day. Whatever. Let's see. Browns, Ravens blew them out. I don't know what more analysis you need. Lamar Jackson looks like skill-wise the best quarterback in the NFL. And the Browns are the Browns. Joe Flacco, welcome back to Baltimore. You just got your ass handed to. No, and the rest of it, yeah, okay. I mean, we're just going to dive into the rest of it because actually, no, and I will. Chargers Raiders. I know it was a Monday night game. It was a 10 o'clock game. I live on the East Coast. I'm not staying up that late. Okay. I had work the next day. Okay. If I was working from home the next day, then sure, whatever. But Chargers win. Quentin Johnson deep ball. That was sick. Get Omari and Hampton the ball more. I don't know. Chip Kelly just sucks against Michigan related things. That like I saw a stat basically poorly. Obviously, he did poorly as the OC at OSU last year against Michigan. And then this week, just craps the bet against the Chargers, who obviously are a lot better defense, clearly it shows, than the Patriots, but still, 9 points is tough. Ashton Jetty, I feel like, is set up. I don't know. I personally don't feel like the O-line for the Raiders is that great, but my brother, ball knower AJ Ryan, he would say that they are pretty great. And so, I don't know. I just need more experience. Anyway. Okay, now into more recap. First game up, Patriots Dolphins. I'm going to talk about the Patriots first because I love my Pats. What a roller coaster. Oh my God. Okay. This is truly like being a Patriots fan for the last 3 years. Yeah. I'll go 4. 4 years, including this year. So this would be the 4th season of 4. Just been bad. Not good. Like, just not good. Ever since the 2021 year, it's like just fallen off a cliff. Long story short, first 3 drives of this game where it was Patriots touchdown, then the Dolphins 3 and out, and then another Patriots touchdown. I was like, this is awesome, except for the 2 extra point misses. That wasn't great. Then the Dolphins fight back, and I'm like, great. Maybe the defense isn't that great. The offense isn't getting the yards that it needs. It isn't getting the first downs. We're turning the ball over. Great, 3 and out. And it's like, great, we're back into this rut. Then a couple field goals, and then the extra point, and then the punt return happens from Washington. And I'm just like, there it is. We're back to being a mediocre, bad team in the NFL again. What a shock. Who would have thought? All the hype for nothing. And then Antonio Gibson pulled me from my grave. And I'm back. I'm back all in on the Pats. Okay? Drake May had, the third quarter was great. Like, that drive with Drake May stepping up in the pocket while I think it was Jalen Phillips comes off the edge and is like literally about to sack him, steps up, there's a perfect ball to Ramondre, and that sets up a huge first down and ultimately leads to a Drake May touchdown, who, by the way, 19 of 23, 230 yards passing, 2 touchdowns with 31 yards rushing, I want to say, and a rushing touchdown as well. Best performance of his career by far. This is the real test about Drake May. Can we continue it? Are we going to get this progression? Are we going to get the continuation of it next week? And how are we going to handle a secondary within the Steelers that's very, on paper, good? Joey Porter Jr., Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay. You look at that and you're like, how am I going to get the ball to the receivers? But you got to be able to find the weak points. And I think that's what's going to be really important this week. A shout out Ramondre for a really good game, 142 yards all purpose. Milton Williams, big offseason signing for the Patriots, and he showed 2 sacks, I think 3 total tackles. Just all in all, really good game for the Pats. Thankfully got the win there. I mean, Devon Achane stepping out at the 25? I know he didn't do it on purpose, but like that, because there was a part of me that was sitting there and it's like, okay, we're only down 1. We'll only be down 1 if they make the extra point. We'll only be down 1. We got a minute. We just got to get to the 30. It clearly showed the kicker, our kicker did not. I don't even remember his name. I'll be on. I know it starts with a G and whatever, but you know what I mean. It was to the point where he was clearly showing oh, I'm better at kicking the ball from 50 yards than I am going to be kicking it from like 20, 30 yards. And so it was at that point where I'm like, okay, if we just get the ball past like the 40, we have a shot. The ball's going to start basically at like the 25, maybe the 35 if it's a long kick and you can kneel it, whatever, or touchback. But long story short, it's just the aspect of like, I was like, oh, we have a shot. And then it was like, oh, well, he stepped out. And it's like, okay, perfect. And then I got more worried. I was like, what if the defense doesn't stop him? Da, da, da. But then when they did, and it was all good, Drake May kneeled it out, and Mike Vrabel got a win. Now for the Dolphins, whatever questions you thought would be answered in this game, just they weren't. They obviously weren't. Tua sucks. No offense. I'm not saying, okay, let me revert that back. Tua does not suck, but he is not good. He is a benefactor of his product, benefactor of his environment, in the fact that he has two of the fastest wide receivers and just the ability to just huck it and be like, okay, if I just throw it in the vicinity, either one are going to get to it. The Patriots defense also very clearly showed the holes in the ability of like, hey, we would love to have Christian Gonzalez back and not have to worry about these safeties playing like a nickel style and having to, and instead of being able to roam in the middle of the field and cover up these patches. But the fact of the matter is, especially with the pick, just a lot of mental mistakes from Tua just really do boil down to the fact of like, he is just trying to do too much. Just find the easy man, go to that route, and just within it, it will follow. I just like the Dolphins. If Mike McDaniels is still a head coach for the Miami Dolphins by like week 7, I have really concerns for that franchise. Like if they continue down the route that they are currently down, this is a much more appealing performance than the Colts one, obviously. And seeing Tyreek Hill get the ball is obviously refreshing for Miami fans. But like, you cannot sit here and say, "Oh, I'm happy with the result of what we just had on Sunday." God, no. Like that, no. The team that you are supposed to be better than, aka the team that you have been better than for the last however many years, and you let them come into your house and beat you and kind of embarrass you for the first quarter of the game. It wouldn't have been as laughable if the fact that the Patriots win this are up 8 points if the 2 extra points are made. That's the fact of the matter. So whatever. Patriots move on. Let's go. Just come on. Let's beat Pittsburgh, please. Next game up, Jaguars, Bengals. Obviously, the story of that game is Joe Burrow going down and Jake Browning stepping up, and kind of the aftermath of that. And Joe Burrow now being down for the next 3 months with a grade 3 turf toe, and definitely hurts my fantasy team chances and everything like that. With that being said, though, Jake Browning really stepped up in this game, being able to have the result that he did. I get like the picks and everything, but it's like when you're a backup quarterback, you're not expecting to play that day. You're going to be ready, but you're not like, that isn't your first thought, obviously, you know, like you're not going into the stadium and being like, I'm ready to go. I got 200 yards in me. I'm ready to sling it. It's like, you could be at any moment's notice, but in reality, you're not. You're just not. That's not your main thought process. And so it's like the aspect of that and the ability to come into a situation like that, a game that you know you should win, and being able to perform and being able to get the team into the spot that it needed to, that is crucial. But I'm not as worried. I guess I'm somehow not as worried about the Bengals as many people are. Offense, I'm obviously still worried about them defensively. Like 27 points to the Jaguars isn't great, but your offense steps up this game, which is huge. The fact of the matter is Trevor Lawrence is not cut out for being the guy. He just isn't. Like I'm done listening to the Trevor Lawrence truther conversations. I just can't buy it. I just can't. Okay? The guy, what year is this for Trevor Lawrence? I think it's year 4. I think, like, I get the injuries, but we're talking about a guy who has had the aspect of like the benefit of doubt for so long. Like, there are just times where he looks like the best player in the NFL, and then there are times where he just is clueless and doesn't know the route and doesn't know the direction of which he should go with. And that is the most frustrating part. I just can't get that. Like, oh, but I mean, I just like with either of these teams, you're just fighting for like the Jaguars are very much in a better position than the Bengals, I would say, in terms of the position of their division. Like obviously the South AFC South is the weakest division I'd say in the NFL, or second weakest. Both of the South divisions are very weak. But and then the Bengals just have to deal with the Ravens all the time, and it's like great. That sucks. But it's the fact of the matter, like with this really does come from like the the Bengals needed this because a lot of like the games that they do have, it's not like the easiest schedule. But like the Jaguars, it's like I don't even know. I don't even know. I feel like I'm just rambling at this point about the Jaguars. Like there's a lot to be excited about. Like Travis Hunter being there obviously helps, and like the new head coach is settled in pretty well. But I don't know. I'm just out on T-Law. I'm out. I can't do it anymore. It is what it is. So next game up, Giants Cowboys. I'd say best game of the first slate by far. By far. Cowboys win 40-37 in overtime. And Brandon Aubrey is just a different human. He is a different level of human being. It's the fact that, like, in reality, he just has the ability to just score with ease. He can do whatever, like, if you get him within 65 yards, if you get him within 65 yards of the uprights, you have a damn near automatic chance of scoring points. That's like the result of how good Brandon Aubrey has been in the last 2 years. I don't even know how long. I can't even remember. I feel like I get bad with like seasons and whatever. In terms of this game, it was like, because you're looking at both of these teams and you're like, all right, these are the two considered weaker teams in the NFC East, but both of these teams are on like different paths. You almost look at the Cowboys as downtrending and you look at the Giants as uptrending. You see Jackson Dart, you see the pass rush they have with Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Burns and Dexter Lawrence and Abdul Carter now. Like, that's an absurd front four. And then you have like the kind of shaky O-line with the Cowboys, Dak and the history there and the contract, whatever. But like, this was an unreal game. We got a true dangerous masterclass. And I've said it for years now, but there is no better long ball in the NFL than Russell Wilson. That thing is so pretty. It flies so high. It doesn't even make sense on how he's able to like launch it that much. And it's the aspect of like in reality, like it shouldn't be able to move that well. Like, but it does. Malik Neighbors being in the right spot and the like right place, right time 2 times in that game with like perfect deep balls from Russ. But then it's just such a backbreaker when you gotta catch this and you have to score, but the moment you look up and you see the amount of time, you're like, damn, they have enough. And that's what the Cowboys had. It was back and forth. Like, my brother and I were very glued in on this game just because of fantasy implications. He has CD in a couple leagues. I have Dak in one league and everything like that. But it's the aspect of like just good football. I mean, that was great. That was everything you could. Damn it, Rob. Sorry. Red Sox are currently down 4-3 to the A's right now. They had bases loaded with, I think, 0 outs. Yeah, they had bases loaded, 0 outs, and they just only scored 1. Not great. Not great. But I mean, Brandon Aubrey's just a different animal. Shout out the Cowboys head coach for getting his first win. I mean, like, as much as this was great for the Giants to see like this production from Russell Wilson, it almost was like the worst thing as well, because you kind of want to be taking the steps in the new direction when you draft a quarterback with the first round pick. I know they traded into that pick. I think it was the Steelers pick, but like, you gotta be able to, like, Russ is now, I think, first in the NFL in like total passing yards through the first 2 weeks. But the issue is, it's like the first week he had like 100, like under 200, and then he had a 450 week, and it's like, there you go. That's just how it is. So 0-2. Not passing yards don't matter at 0-2. So next game up, I'll talk about it quickly. Niners Saints. Saints I won't talk about because what is there to talk about? They, I think, are going to be the worst team in the NFL. Jawan Johnson's sick. He's really good. Shout out Alvin Kamara. Shout out Chris Olave. Cam Jordan. Other than that, that team is not good. Demario Davis. But Mac Jones, with the revival of his career, and just goes into New Orleans and just has himself a day. 26 completions on 39 attempts, 279 yards, and 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. That's huge. That's great to have. And I know, like, as much as I bring up the Sam Darnold to the Kevin O'Connell thing, I'm very aware of, like, the impact that Kyle Shanahan has on quarterbacks and the ability of Mac Jones wasn't good on the Patriots, and now he's really good on the Niners. And having Christian McCaffrey, Ricky Pearsall, and George Kittle when he's healthy, and having all these weapons, like, sure, I know a lot of the primary weapons that you would have mentioned back in, like, for the past couple of years was down, but, or are down, sorry. But it's like, I feel like with this offense, you can do anything. And I think that's the importance of this offense, is like you can put really anybody anywhere. And I think that's the West Coast style that the Shanahan family just runs with so well. Shout out Mac, shout out CMC. Okay, Christian McCaffrey is the third player in NFL history with 50 rushing touchdowns and 30 or more receiving touchdowns. He got his 30th receiving touchdown on Sunday, and boy, oh boy, that just goes to show you the level of player that Christian McCaffrey's been in and year out. Ridiculous player, even with all the injuries, but shout out CMC. Final game from the 1:00 slate, just an absolute manslaughter. That was the Lions against the Bears. The Lions 52-21, 31-point win. Jared Goff 23 of 28, 334 yards passing, 5 touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs went crazy. I think he had a total of, let me see here. He had 104 total yards with a rushing touchdown, 12 carries, 94 yards on the ground. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 9 receptions, 115 yards and 3 tutties. Jameson Williams, 2 receptions, 108 yards and a touchdown. If you ever thought that the Detroit Lions were going to be slowing down at any sort of rate because of Ben Johnson leaving, I think you'd be very wrong. I mean, it's just the factor, like, I think the reason why they didn't look so good in week 1 is just because of how good that Packers defense is. I really do think it's just that. It's the aspect of they just have so many weapons. Like, David Montgomery is their second running back, and they're finding, like, Isaac Tesla is, like, having these unreal catches. Brock Wright is looking like a really solid tight end too. Khalif Raymond has shown, like, his ability throughout the year and everything, or past couple of years, and he's just a good team. And you look at this defense, you look at the defense, and you're getting players like Aiden Hutchinson back, like Brian Branch is continuing to get better. DJ Reed is there now, Terry and Arnold, and like Alex Anzalone. Like, this is just a good team. Like, I understand the aspect of, like, hey, like, the Vikings looks like they got better, the Packers obviously got better, and like the Bears got better, but it's like these guys didn't win 15 games last year for nothing. They didn't just win like 15 games to be like, hey, we're like, okay. It's like, no, we won 15 games because we won 15 games. Not because you had anything to do with it, but because we wanted 15 games, and they got 15 games. So, but I know I sound like a Bears hater whenever, like, we talk about the Bears. It's just the fact of the matter. It's like the Bears year in and year out think that they are, like, good. They think they have the momentum, they think they have it, and they just don't. Caleb is not that good. I just, like, I can't buy in on Caleb. That's all. But shout out Ozzy. Shout out Ozzy Trapillo. That's my guy. I don't know him. I'm kidding. Shout out my dad. What up, Dad? I know you're watching this. Text me to my father only. Text me the story of American Pie by Don McLean and what the song is about, and then I'll know you watch this episode. Thanks, Dad. Anyway, back to the games. On to the afternoon slate. 3 games, all very enticing and competitive. We'll go pretty cool. We'll spend some time obviously on this, but don't want to keep everyone here for too long. Broncos Colts, arguably game of the day. I'd say yes. Just Danny Dimes did something that, like, I think it was no team has ever done before, and that was 2 straight games of no punts. That's ridiculous. Daniel Jones doing this in this economy? What? I remember going to work and listening to Part of My Take and seeing the notification that Daniel Jones got released by the Giants. I got texts from friends who are Giants fans and them saying, finally, thank God, it is over. It really does show the impact that environment has on a person, on a player, and overall just the mental liveliness of a person. Bigger markets are not made for everybody. Like, it's just how it is. Like, sure, there have been plenty of times where players could have gone to bigger markets, but not everybody wants a bigger market. Maybe Daniel Jones just didn't need a big market. He's a quieter guy, and being thrown right into the New York media, that's tough. But Indianapolis is rolling. I get it. Like, Dolphins defense isn't great, but they win against arguably the best defense that many people consider the Broncos defense the best defense in the NFL on a lot of different factors. Like, they were the number one defense in the NFL last year, and it showed. Like, very, very good defensive. But two things were shown in this game. Danny Dimes is Danny Dimes, and Jonathan Taylor is still one of the best running backs in the NFL. 200 plus all-purpose yards from Jonathan Taylor. And Danny Dimes just continues to showcase that he belongs in the NFL. I can't believe I'm saying that a year later from the thoughts that I was having a year ago when he was released by the Giants. For the Broncos, I feel like there's some soul searching to do, almost, where it's like I don't know. The defense needs to tighten up. I don't know what it is, but like they got to just like get back to what it is. And like I know teams are gonna are seeing their defense more and more and being like, okay, now we know how to adjust to it and everything like that. But it is the aspect of like at some point you just gotta get the stop. And they just aren't right now. I mean, we're talking about like one of the best defenses last year, only having one sack in the entirety of a game. One sack. I mean, that's not great. No. Like, and the Colts are clearly showing that they are like a lot more underrated of a team than people like. Michael Pittman Jr., I was very high on him coming out of the draft, and I liked him coming out of USC. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor, we know what he can do, but Tyler Warren is clearly showing out to be one of the best one of the best pieces that you could have added to your team out of the draft this year. Four receptions, 79 yards. It's like his ability, like he is baby Gronk. He has the ability to block really well. He has the ability to catch in space, and he just will bulldoze you over, but he'll also be able to move with you. I'm just really impressed with the Colts, man. This is a good team. They're going in the right direction. Their defense is stepping up. Shout out the Colts. Shout out the Colts, man. I mean, definitely wasn't my projection on how the year would start, were the Colts being one of the hottest teams in the NFL. A game that originally I wasn't going to cover because I made a mockery of it for being the quintessential 1 o'clock game, even though it started at 4:25. Arizona Cardinals versus the Carolina Panthers. I wasn't going to cover this game, and then somehow the Panthers came all the way back. Actually, I mean, there isn't a ton to cover. Long story short, Bryce Young looks a lot better. They have no rushing attack, or just the interior defense of the Arizona Cardinals is ridiculous. The Panthers are 0-2, and the Cardinals are 2-0. But I think the Panthers are the best 0-2 team. Actually, no, because the Chiefs are an 0-2 team. I think the Panthers 0-2 is a lot better than an 0-2 than it should be. And I think the Cardinals 2-0 is a lot worse than it should be. Two very squeaky scratch out games versus the Panthers and the Saints. Not good to start out like that. And then to also have the aspect of like, you're not beating these teams. You're like barely getting by them. And Kyler Murray is like what is it? Kyler Murray 17 of 25, 220 passing yards and a touchdown and an interception. Like, I can't really say that is that good. And I like 7 carries and 32 yards, but it's like I feel like he's got to trust the arm more. I feel like he's just got to get it back under control and everything like that. But I don't know. I'm just not all in on the Cardinals. Never really have been, but is what it is. Good win for the Cardinals. And then supposedly the game of the week. Some people. Myself. Eagles Chiefs. Just one sec. Eagles Chiefs. I'm going to say something pretty controversial. That game sucked. Like, what? Wasn't that good? It just wasn't. Like, you can't go into Like Super Bowl rematch. Obviously, everybody's going to be excited. Like, oh my God, how are the Chiefs going to respond? How are the Eagles going to do in Arrowhead? There are so many questions. Will Taylor Swift be there? Who cares? Anyway, no, this game wasn't good. It was very good defensively. If you like watching defense, game for you. Awesome. But here's the issue. To the Chiefs being hated with devil magic is to the Eagles being hated with boredom. Let me explain. For the last 3 years of my life, I have been rooting against the Chiefs in every manner possible. Why? Because they piss me off, because they're really good. And that just is what it is. That's just how the nature of things are. Because if you don't get to succeed, why would you want to be happy about anybody else succeeding? Kidding. You should be happy for other people succeeding because you're a human being. But this is a sports team. And I'm happy for the player's success, but not the team's success. You with me? Back to the page. The Eagles have shown, hey, we're a pretty good football team. What do you think about that? And everybody last year said, awesome, we love it. And everybody last year started to slip through the cracks and see, this tush push thing isn't as cool as we thought. Why? I think a little bit of it had to do with Jason Kelce. Why do I say that? Because Jason Kelce is like a lovable guy. Nobody really knows who Cam Jurgens is, and nobody really like sure, we know who Jordan Mailata is, but that was because of Jason Kelce. We've gotten to know Lane Johnson over the years and everything like that. But is it almost like an unlikable thing at that point? Because if you see 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, you know what's going to happen. If you're facing the Eagles, you see 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 2, you know what's going to happen. If you're on the 1 and they're creeping into their end zone, you know what's going to happen. I don't like it. I don't have an issue with the tush push. What I do have an issue with is the use of it. Using it at the one on the goal line, don't have an issue there. 4th and 1, sure. I don't really care. But if it's 3rd down, no. That shouldn't be fair. You only get 1 every 4. I think no, let me revert. I just don't think I mean, you can't say oh, specific sections you can do it, but other times you can because that would just be nitpicking and whatever. It's either you ban it or you keep it. I think you have to keep it because it's there's nothing illegal against the play. It's just you happen to have a really talented O-line with a really strong running back in Saquon Barkley and a couple tight ends, and then you also have one of the strongest quarterbacks in the NFL in Jalen Hurts, and they can just push everybody in. So, long story short, thank you, Saquon, for the rushing touchdown for my fantasy team. Other than that, tough break for Travis on that drop, though. Tough break. But is what it is. Anyway, Falcons, Vikings, I will be honest, I only watched the first half of it because, again, this goes late. Actually, wait. No, I did go to sleep early. Vikings shouldn't play primetime games. 1. Falcons are a lot better than I thought they were. 2. And maybe JJ McCarthy isn't that great. Those are the 3 points. The primetime one, I think it just goes naturally. The Vikings just don't look good on primetime. The Falcons looked a lot better than I thought they did. Than I thought they were, that is. Offensively, I wouldn't say I was low on Penix. I feel like it was almost just I feel like I was higher on other guys. But now I'm kind of all in on Penix. I don't know why I wasn't. I'm a lefty. I should be all in on the lefty quarterbacks, But anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm a Penix guy now. Anyway, Bijan Robinson is disgusting. That the balance that they kind of have at Kyle, I get it. It's weird to say Kyle Pitts is a good tight end, but he just looked good so far. Michael Penix getting the ball to him and Drake London and Bijan, and then just being able to have the defense that's necessary. Having AJ Terrell is huge. Having players across the field and throughout with the level of defense that they're able to provide is very strong overall. And I mean, they walked into Minnesota and just busted the Vikings' ass. So, final game of the night, or final game of the episode. I already talked about the Chargers Raiders. Shout out Chargers. Shout out Primetime PC. Buccaneers Texans. What a game. BCB, Broken Chain Baker. You just can't deal with the animal that is Baker Mayfield. He is just the story that is Baker Mayfield is quite literally one of the craziest things to think about. Drafted by the Browns, first pick when many people thought he was going to be the 3rd pick or something, which I know isn't the craziest jump. But long story short, a lot of draft boards didn't have Baker Mayfield as the number 1 quarterback. kind of gets thrown into the fire and inevitably gets a playoff game to the Browns, gets them a playoff game, and I think a win, in fact. And then they say, go after yourself, figure it out. He goes to Carolina and was basically their third string. I think behind like Cam for that weird stint, Sam Darnold, and then him. Like he was so low on the depth chart. He was doing practice squad D-line stuff. But the fact of the matter is he then gets a chance because Matthew Stafford went down. This is back in 2022. Matthew Stafford goes down, and he has this crazy Thursday Night Football performance with like the minute drive against the Raiders. That was awesome. And then he kind of solidifies himself. He's like, hey, I'm here. I'm getting better. The Buccaneers take a chance on him, and boy, did it pay off. He's like second in the NFL in passing yards since he signed with the Bucs. He's first in touchdowns, or maybe it's the other way around. Can't remember exactly. The fact of the matter is Baker Mayfield is a legitimately incredible quarterback. Incredible is a crazy word to use, I know, but it's just the fact of the matter. Sorry, just getting in my Red Sox check. It is 4-4. Thank God. Oh my God. Thank God. There's a shot. Anyway, I mean, yeah, it's just like he just has it. He has the gut factor. He has the it factor. He can get you to the places. Like, he's a lot better of a ball thrower than people want to give credit for. He moves surprisingly, like he moves really well. And he's tough. He is what you want in a quarterback. And I saw a take. And I agree with it, damn near. But is Baker Mayfield a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts? I know what you're saying. Skill-wise, probably Jalen, just because of his running ability and his strength and everything. But in terms of like a thrower, I'd rather have Baker. I feel like that's crazy, but also not that crazy. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. And then for the other side of the ball, and real quick, before I get to the Texans, Tampa Bay's defense looks really good. Vita Vea, I mean, he's just the best run stuffer in the NFL. Like, Levante David should have had a pick last night or the other night. Whatever. Fact of the matter is, good team. Good team. Good team. And then you get to the Texans, and I was really high on CJ Stroud after his first year. Then last year kind of happened, and I was like, okay, it is what it is. But now we're really getting to see, like, maybe he is a product of his environment. Tank Dell being out, no more Stephon Diggs, Joe Mixon is hurt. You get a little bit of a different running back style with Nick Chubb. I think some of the O-linemen left, and that defense is freaky good, but the offense, man, is inconsistent. And it starts with Stroud. It just does. It's the aspect of he has to put the ball in the better places for his receivers to get it. Nico Collins cannot be getting only 2 receptions. I understand one of them was like a 29-yard touchdown and was like on their second drive or something. But you got to do better. You just gotta. If you want to win the games you want to win, and you want to win divisions, and you want to go to the AFC Championship and win Super Bowls, that is a game you have to win. A game in which the most likely NFC South division winner is quite literally handing you the game. Like, CJ Stroud, 13 of 24, 207 yards and a touchdown. Nico Collins, 3 receptions, 52 yards. As a team, you have 266 total yards. You get blown out on the ground. It's just like, I'm out on CJ Stroud. That's the fact that the highest number of receptions for a receiver that night for the Houston Texans was 3. 2 guys had 3. Dalton Schultz and Nico Collins. None of them had higher than 50 except for Nico Collins, who had 52. Yeah, that's tough. A lot of things to work on for the Texans. All in all, really good week. I went, let me do the count up real quick for everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8-1, 9-1, 10-1, 10-2, 10-3, 10-4, 12-4 on the week. 12-4. 4 I got wrong were Steelers over Seahawks, Broncos over Colts, Chiefs over Eagles, and Vikings over Falcons. That is the end of the episode for everyone. I hope you all enjoyed it. I get it. I know I'm rambling a lot, and I'm trying to figure this thing out, but it is what it is. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. But guess what? I'm still going to be here. So if you do like it, like and subscribe. Please follow the journey. And I will see you all with Jonah on Saturday. at some point, or maybe early Sunday, I don't know, for a new episode of Triple Threat Talk. I will see you then. Peace out.